how do emotions get stuck in the body? What is fascia and how can you get them unstuck? Hi, I'm Miriam and I teach emotional intelligence skills. Welcome to EI for Life. So when emotions move through our bodies, where do they move through? What's actually happening on a physical level? Emotions move through fascia, which is a connective tissue that is everywhere in your body. It's around your muscles, it wraps around your organs, you have it in your skin, it even goes all the way around your eyes. Fascia it works in layers. So there are sheets that connect your feet right up to your head. And when emotions flow through, they flow through the fascia, literally. So the fascia needs to be very well hydrated, which means it's kind of a slimy thing. If you feel particularly brave, Google what it looks like. Personally, I think it looks a bit gross, but yeah. Anyway, super important for your emotions. So in order for your emotions to flow freely through you, to run their course, fascia needs to be healthy, which means very well hydrated and limber. Now let's look at how emotions actually get stuck. If you have blocks, emotional blocks, you probably got them as a child. Yeah, that's how far back you got them. Now what happened? Let me give you 2 examples so you understand what's happening. Example number 1, let's say you feel anger. As a child, you feel angry about whatever the situation is. And when I say child, I mean you're like 3 or 4 years old, maybe 5, doesn't matter. But you're angry. So the anger runs through you. These are chemical reactions that happen in your body. This is a wave of anger, a wave of emotion flowing through your fascia. And it needs to run its course. What that means is anger prepares you for an action. It gets you ready to fight. Now, when you're 3 or 4 years old, fighting means you stomp your feet, you scream your head off, and maybe you even, punch. Now, what happens here? Your parents or caregivers tell you that that's not okay. They interrupt the action. They tell you that you cannot scream, you cannot stomp, stop doing this, stop being so, such a bad person by letting the anger run its course. They could teach you how to actually express your anger in a healthy way, but most parents don't know how to do that themselves. So they just get mad at you. As a child, it's very windy right now. Something bumped against the wall. All good. As a child, all you learn is if I feel this emotion freely, if I let it do what it wants me to do, the people I love get angry with me and might no longer love me. Now, that is a very strong story. It means that your body clamps up, you tense up, you do not allow yourself to enact the anger, to act on it. And that's how the emotion gets stuck. What happens over time when you repeat the process, so every time you get angry, is the fascia where the anger would flow through. So there's a pathway for the anger, and the fascia in that area starts to stick together. It tenses up. And it literally forms a firmer section because the sheets of fascia get stuck together. They're no longer well hydrated. You might have knots in your back or maybe knots in your chest. You might have knots in your face you're not even aware of. That's fascia stuck together. So you learn that it's not okay to feel anger. That's the block. And it's there since you were a child. As an adult, when you feel anger, you automatically react the same way. Because over time, you do not just learn, your fascia doesn't just get stuck. You also learn stories you tell about anger that prevents you from expressing it. You learn stories about emotions. You might even learn that it's not even okay to feel the anger. So you start suppressing it more and more and more and more. And that's how you have these emotions stuck. There's literal blockages to the pathways for your emotions in your body. Let's look at other emotions, because it's not just the uncomfortable ones like anger and fear. Let's say you're super excited as a child and you jump up and down. Yeah, because excitement makes you happy, and excitement makes you want to move, and excitement makes you want to scream, whoopee! But as a child, people tell you it's a bit too much. Stop being so excited, tone it down, stop skipping around the house, whatever it is you're doing. And the process is the exact same thing. Your excitement wants to flow through that pathway. It wants you to act and express the excitement in some way. People tell you can't do that. What do you do as a child? You learn. It always comes back to this thing. If other people don't love us as children, our minds perceive this as lethal danger. Because if we're not loved as children, if we are sent out into the world by ourselves, we might die. So the mind thinks, oh God, we have to do whatever it takes to be loved. If that means no longer be so excited, then that's what we're going to learn. You tense up, you clamp down, and another block in your fascia is formed. So, when you have emotional blocks, especially the ones you've had since your childhood, the fascia is not just one area, it's interconnected through your entire body. You might have blocks on very deep layers, you might have more superficial blocks, which you acquired in your latest job, and so on. Each and every one of them is connected to stories you tell yourself about whichever emotion is blocked. Each and every one of them is connected to a limiting belief you have, like I need to be in a certain way to be loved, or even I need to be loved by other people to survive. It can be something as basic as that, or life has to be hard. And all of these are connected to blocks you have all around your body in your fascia. So when you want to release emotions, when you want to, there's something stuck in your body, you cannot freely feel your anger, something's holding you back. This is physical. And you have to release these physical blocks. What this means is you have to work with your fascia. I have a separate video on how exactly to do that, or rather how I did it with 2 techniques and a third bonus tip. But for now, just know these blocks are real. They're not in your mind. They're not in your head. The stories you tell in your head are connected to real physical blocks in your body. And you gotta work with those blocks. You gotta release the blocks in your fascia. All right. Thanks for watching this video, and thank you for taking the time to learn about this. Finally, as always, thank you very much for being you.